Several of you have asked for my take on Fender's American Professional 2 Series guitars. Now, I may look at more than one in the series, but to begin, I've chosen a model I find very interesting, the American Professional 2 Telecaster Deluxe. So let's get started. The Professional 2 Series was officially launched on October 13th, 2020, replacing the American Professional guitars, which came out in 2017. Now, as Fender has done since way back when the American standards were released, the Pro 2 Series is really about continued incremental refinement. According to the company, these came about by asking for input from their artist roster. This is, in fact, a time-honored tradition that goes back to the very beginning, when Leo Fender was continually asking players how the guitars could be improved. Now, the original Telecaster Deluxe came out in 1972 as a response to players gravitating to Gibsons to achieve the heavier, more sustaining rock tones that were gaining in popularity at the time. Now, Fender hired Seth Lover, who designed Gibson's humbuckers, to design the wide-range humbuckers that went into the Tele Deluxe. Of course, a reasonably vintage-correct version can be found in Fender's Vintage 2 line. Now, this American Pro 2 version deviates from the originals in quite a number of ways, essentially sticking to the same basic styling, but creating a modernized version. Now, even the most casual viewer will notice several basic construction differences, such as no bullet truss rod adjuster, and of course, the neck joint is Fender's modern, improved access style rather than the original CBS-era 3-bolt. Now, the electronics and bridge seem the most consequential changes, the wide-range humbuckers being replaced with Tim Shaw-designed V-Mod 2 double-tap humbuckers. Now, one apparent goal being the addition of single-coil sounds, accessed via the push-push tone controls, with a minimum of volume loss, hopefully. So let's have a listen. Well, I have to say I'm liking the sounds. The pickups definitely have their own thing going. I find them to be quite articulate and balanced, and I'm really enjoying the rather unique tones, neither wide-range humbucker nor conventional PAF-style humbucker. They never seem to get mushy and maintain clarity and a nice woody quality, even when you crank up some gain, which is impressive. I will mention that personally, I never find split humbuckers to be particularly useful, though these do it about as well as any, and as advertised, there's no massive volume drop. They're very similar to the PRS coil splitting in that regard, whether or not it's achieved in a similar way. It's just not a feature I tend to find much use for, but I'm sure many players would, and you probably know who you are. I do find this 3-barrel bridge to be an interesting choice. Now, of course, the original Tele Deluxe had a 6-saddle Strat-style bridge. Now, given the modern vibe of the Pro 2, using a 3-barrel bridge almost seems like a throwback. But maybe this is one of those artist-suggested features, since a lot of Tele guys feel the 3 brass saddles to be an important part of the Tele thing. Who knows? In any case, this bridge, with its compensated saddles, works fine, and the intonation, while probably not quite as precise as 6 individual saddles, it's actually quite good. Now, most of the other features are shared with the rest of the American Pro 2 series. The slightly deeper C-shaped neck with lightly rolled fingerboard edges, the 9.5-inch fingerboard radius, and the tall, narrow frets. Now, all of these features more or less follow current trends. So let's hear it in a mix. So what do I think? Well, it's a very nice instrument. Maybe not quite as perfect as I've been led to believe. For instance, the fret leveling, while very close, could be a touch more precise. But it's a factory guitar and falls well within what's to be expected given the huge numbers produced. Now overall, it's a quality instrument that could easily be a serious player's main guitar. Even so, I do tend to question whether it's worth the very substantial price tag, especially since I found the fretwork and overall playability was actually slightly better on the Vintera 260 Strat I reviewed last year, which sells for $700 less. Now, most likely luck of the draw, but at $1,850, you have quite a few choices. But if you really love the look, feel, and sound of this model, well, it's certainly not a bad choice. For me, I'd want to take the time to compare it to the much less expensive Vintera 2 Tele Deluxe before committing. Or if the budget allows, I'd also recommend comparing it to the more expensive American Vintage 2 Tele Deluxe, just to be certain you buy the guitar that best suits your playing style. Well, as always, I want to thank you for watching. Giving this video a like will help the channel, and if you haven't yet subscribed, well, that helps even more. So please consider doing so, and together we can keep this channel alive. And with that, I'll say goodbye for now, and I'll see you again very soon.